How are you guys? It is Thursday, and I am just plopping down. A friend of mine is getting ready to graduate from beauty school, so had to go get my hair done, get my nails done. So I am just kind of catching up, but it's Thursday, and we're reading Reddit as we do on Thursdays. So thank you so much for being here. If you have not already, please do all of the YouTube things like subscribe, share. Um, Subscribing always helps, of course, but even just a like, it'll put it in a special folder for you of your liked videos. It also tells the algorithm that we're doing something right over here. So if you would give this video a like, the shares, especially on Facebook, are super, super appreciated. Um, we all know that all of these platforms, no matter what they say, work together. Their algorithms all overlap and whatnot. So yeah. So just do all the things if you would. I'd appreciate it. Um, we are doing coworker Reddit stories tonight. We are just drinking soda because it's what we had. So yeah, we're gonna read some coworker stories tonight. If there is a Reddit sub that you want me to take a look at, stories that you like, you can share them in any of the comments, which on my screen are right here. I don't know if they're on this side for you guys. They might be, but for me, comments are right there. So also please comment. Um, Todd, Todd the Fox Music said hello from the Fox and Skull, which is a cool little place. Yeah, I'm not sure how much I can share about that, but it's a cool little spot. I love it. Um, so with that, and no more rambling, at least for the moment, let's dig into some Reddit stories. So, our first story that we are going to read is from 6 months ago. It was posted in r/coworker stories, and it is called Coworker Quit by Hitting the Resign button in Workday. I didn't know there was one. Do you guys know there was you could just resign in Workday? We're going to find out more. Okay. I worked with a coworker for about 4 years at a company I used to work for. He was my work bestie because he was the only one in my office that played video games like me. There was a big transition earlier this year when a competitor bought our whole division in June. Oh, were you guys freaking out a little bit? Probably. I went to work for the competitor after the transition, but my coworker stayed in a different and completely, in a different, maybe division. There's the word missing. My coworker stayed in a different division and completely different role. I grabbed lunch with him last week and found out he had quit 2 weeks earlier because he was super stressed and the role wasn't a good fit. I've been trying to get him to come over to the new company because it's a similar role to what we had, but better in every way. But found out through my team lead, who is still in contact with the old company, that my coworker quit by hitting the resign button in Workday. No email, no call to his manager, did not notify anyone. He just woke up one morning and clicked the resign button in Workday and stopped working. That's kind of cool. But you got to make sure you've already squirreled out all of your stuff from your desk. Like that has to be premeditated, or you just lose your crap. But maybe you weren't allowed to have anything at your desk, and so it doesn't matter. Do. This was a company he worked for over 4 years, Fortune 500 career job, and quit without notice or having anything lined up. HR was calling him repeatedly for 2 days, wondering if he was okay, because they obviously thought that Workday button was a mistake because who even does that? Makes me even hesitant to refer him to my company if he's pulling BS like that. Now, hold on. maybe I'm just reading this like you're championing your friend. I thought it was crazy when I found out earlier today. Who would do that, especially in this economy and job market? Updates. Wow, I was not expecting this to blow up. I reached out to my buddy and will still be referring him to my team when the job openings are posted in the next week or two, and I will put in a good word. Well, good. That's your work bestie. Yeah, you should want to work with him again. And if you've been encouraging him, bring him over. He didn't like the old place. You didn't either. You left. But anyway, excuse me. To answer a few questions, the company I used to work for was toxic and a difficult place to work. Although the way he quit was still unprofessional and not how I would have gone about it. Okay, well, we're all a little different. Workday is a popular HR portal for many companies, and some companies have this resign option, others do not. And normally when you hit this button, it will trigger your HR department to reach out to go over your resignation, passing off duties, etc. Well, it sounds like they did. You should not be ignoring their calls, as you can tank your reputation in your industry and negatively affect your future career, even if you have something lined up. I understand malicious compliance and telling your boss to go F yourself and sticking it to a bad workplace, but I think you should be balanced with keeping your future in mind and not shooting yourself in the foot. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox. Thanks. Yeah. Yeah, you were given an early out. And for all you know, because somebody else told you about this, he didn't. Maybe he did have something lined up and he just hadn't told HR about it yet. Why would you? You don't tell HR you're lining something up until you're resigning. So, yeah, I think you just sound like you need somebody to tell you that you're right. I'm not sure. I think good for this guy. Maybe he had some savings. I don't know how many people actually check anymore with HR to see if you gave notice. I think it's kind of either we're hiring you or not. Okay, so some comments. Slurpees and stuff. Says the button is there to improve morale. Seeing it there gives comfort to someone knowing they could pull the executioner switch at any moment. Somebody commented to that meetings will continue until morale improves. Yeah. Pigeon, the one and only, says, LOL, my company's instance of Workday doesn't even have this option enabled. Sounds like their HR, whomever set up their Workday, dropped the ball. Absolutely. If you don't want people to use the tool, do not give them the tool. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen. Yeah. I have tried to always have something lined up. Now that lined up doesn't always work, but I don't know. I think you just kind of wanted to have a story on Reddit. And maybe I just wanted to read a story on Reddit. So there we go. Oh, okay. So this one. I'm not sure how long it is because I haven't opened it. I just stuck it in here in our saved because of the title. It is from 5 months ago. Also posted. Oh, it's little, but user is Demon Slayer Corp P. She quit because of pizza. I'm still shocked by this. My husband and I were just talking and he reminded me, and I had to run to Reddit to post. I used to work at a salt production facility. You had one job: put salt into a bag. It paid more than average for the area. You could listen to music, great benefits, great schedule. There was a woman named Sue that was about 63 years old that worked there part time. Everyone took it easy on her. We barely made her work. For her age and skills, also working part time, she was making good money. Anyway, she would work Monday through Wednesday. One time, the company ordered us pizza because we had high numbers. They gave us this pizza on Thursday. Monday rolls around, and Sue heard about our pizza party. She was livid. She marched right to HR and told them it was unfair they served pizza on Thursday because they know she doesn't work that day. She said if they didn't serve pizza that Wednesday, she would quit. Wednesday rolls around and no pizza. Big surprise there. She puts in her 2-week notice. The 2 weeks are almost up, and Sue can't find another job. She asks HR if she can stay. HR says no. Last thing I heard, she had moved back to her hometown on the other side of the country. She literally quit over pizza. You know, there are just people like that. Oh, so everybody is in the comments kind of doing the, and everybody clapped, you know, claiming that it's fake. So there is a mod note here. We have received and reviewed numerous reports. The user is confirmed as a real account. We cannot police or remove stories just because the author has a cringy writing style or uses an unusual pseudonym for their coworker. Oh, because they put Sue's, but Sues. So it could just be, I don't know. I was just saying Sue. So let's see. An actual comment reminds me of the time I worked retail. One of the staff members' mom ordered pizza for the entire store one day during the holidays. Well, the pizza got there towards the end of one of the key holders' shifts. Instead of taking a couple of slices to go, he took one whole pizza that was untouched home to feed him and his family. The next day, the manager was like, hey, that pizza was for the staff. You should have asked instead of taking the entire thing. Anyways, it eventually ended in a shouting match, and the key holder quit on the spot for being embarrassed in front of the whole staff over a pizza. The whole thing was absurd, lol. Yeah. Sus, as in suspect. Maybe a little sus. Maybe a little bit. Somebody commented to the taking of the pizza one. OMG. I have secondhand embarrassment at just the thought of taking a whole pizza. Yeah. No. If I'm not staying and people haven't eaten yet, no, I'm not walking out with a whole pizza. Oh, I would die. I'd have a hard time like taking any knowing that I wasn't staying. Sorry, I'm just covering up Velma because she's and trying to dig at one of the blankets, so we just cover her up. Yeah. So lots of comments, of course. Whenever we have a pizza lunch, our office turns into a nature documentary. The nicest coworkers are somehow transformed into half-starved hyenas, circling the pizza boxes, playing a mashup of musical chairs and Russian roulette. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah. There are times that I do not miss having like a break room or work parties and whatnot. Um, okay, so this one sounded, the title sounds a little weird to me. So this one, oh, it's been tagged as fiction or fake. I don't like that because the title was fired for lunch fraud. So, darn it. Should we read it anyway? And we'll let you guys decide. Because I'm not sure who flagged it. It's from 5 months ago. There's a lot of, it's short, but there's a lot of comments. We've got it open. Let's read it. I worked at a top-tier consulting firm with a generous expense policy. Best summed up as, we work hard, we pay hard. Pun intended. Typical week was travel Monday through Thursday. Business class flights, a room at the Ritz-Carlton, and nonstop work from sunrise to midnight with the omnipresent threat of an up or out culture hanging over your head like the sword of Damocles. Okay. This is why they probably. At the end of my year, you'd either get a fat bonus. Mine was $43K my last full year, or you'd get fired. We had some really smart people working for us, but as anyone who's been around the sun a few times can tell you, smart people can do really dumb things. Any meal expense below $50 was automatically approved. Some clever individual bought one of those Square card readers, set up his own business, and started swiping his corporate card to pay himself. Ooh. You see, okay, I'm going to keep going. But if you live around where I live, you know why. I'm like, he was embezzling $40 to $45 a day for lunch while eating PB&J sandwiches. A typical project had us in one city for 6 to 8 weeks. Where this guy screwed up was he kept running his scam in multiple cities. There you go. Even if this is fake, that's how you get caught. This was pre-COVID. Machine learning was still somewhat new, but it was capable enough to detect patterns indicating fraudulent activity. Weeks of daily sub $50 transactions at a random merchant in city A that nobody else ever visited, teams often ate lunch together, would raise a single red flag. Continuing the pattern when you're in city B and city C raised more red flags than 1930s Germany. The guy threw away his career for a few $1,000, which they almost certainly clawed back from his final paycheck. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So now I think all of these comments are just making up BS too, because that was a BS story. But anyway. Oh, yes. Okay. So the reason that I put this one here is because it is a two-parter. And so the second one is what I came across first, and it was titled Update to Coworker Trying to Steal My Job. So there is a post. But I'm not sure. Okay. Okay. So the original post was titled How to Politely Tell Someone to F Off. And it said advice needed. I'm a manager. Someone has recently joined my business area. I'm not his direct manager, but he does kind of feed into my team slightly. He seems to think sending me messages offering to help is the way forward, but they're coming off as condescending and they're pissing me off. Example, this morning he's messaged me asking me if I need help setting up 2 meetings. I don't need help setting up effing meetings. My initial reaction is to go back with, I know how to set up meetings, but thanks. But I fear that's too crappy. Any suggestions? Also, I understand that he's probably just keen, but this isn't the way to go about it. Update. Thanks for all the suggestions. I went back with, thanks, the invites have already been sent. If you're looking for more work, I'd suggest speaking to X and Y. X and Y being the two project managers he's supporting as project support. Okay, so yes, okay, so the very next day, this was 2 months ago, but the very next day is when we get this update. I didn't think I'd have another update this quick, but I'm in the office today. I like to get here early. I was at my desk, AirPods in, trying to work on a document when he came over to my desk. He asks if I'm okay. Feels like we have a problem. He's just trying to help me because he cares. I looked him dead in the eye and told him, I know what you're doing and it's not going to work. I'm not going anywhere. Instead of focusing on my job, focus on your own, and went back to my work. I had a lot of time to think about it last night and woke up angry. I know for a fact key artifacts are missing from the projects he's working on that he's responsible for, and there's an exec board tomorrow, so it's going to be highlighted. He's the one who's going to look like he can't handle his responsibilities, not me. Thanks to everyone for the advice yesterday. It was a massive help and confidence booster. Update. Sorry for the late update. Been a long day. For everyone asking, he didn't take it well. I'd put my AirPods back in, but got told by others he called me a B word. I think we might have missed something in the comments before, but let's just keep going. I met with his boss earlier today. I showed her all of the Teams messages and emails that he has sent me over the last 3 to 4 months. She showed me messages he sent to her implying that I'm slacking and he's been covering for me. Huh. For the record, that's not the case. There's nothing I or my team have missed, and I've certainly not asked him to cover anything for me. We called my boss in and brought him up to speed. We mentioned the artifacts that he's still not done for the exec board tomorrow, and asked should we remind him again. My boss said no. If he thinks he's so marvelous, he can show everyone just how marvelous tomorrow. The pack was issued minus his slides, so it's blatantly obvious that he's not done them. It's not even the slides. It's the whole system that he's supposed to input the information into and extract that into something pretty for the pack. There's nothing. He's simply not bothered, but has all the time in the world to concern himself with my job. I can update after the board tomorrow if anyone is interested. Oh my goodness. Update 2. We got lots of updates. I love updates because sometimes I need some sort of resolution or closure or something. So give it to me. Update 2. Sorry for the delay. Such an effing crazy week. We went into the board meeting, got to his slides, and there was nothing. He looked at me and was like, avocados? Like it was my responsibility. Before I could even get a word in, my boss asked him what he meant, and he said that he'd emailed me to delegate his slides to me, and I had agreed. I asked him to show me the email because I didn't recall one, and I didn't recall agreeing to do his work. Said he didn't have his laptop, so he couldn't. My boss said we'd wait while he went to get it. We waited almost 20 minutes for him to come back and then claim he must have deleted it, but he knew for sure that I'd agreed. His boss asked why he would ask me in the first place and why I would ever agree, given we're on different teams and in different business areas. He said he didn't know, but he asked, and I said yes. Okay, but again, the question, why would you ask? Why would you ask somebody not connected to help? Anyway, we literally didn't move on. The rest of the meeting was us going over it and him refusing to take blame or blaming me. It was madness. Long story short, he's now on a PIP with the intention of him going in 90 days. It's wild how I've gone from feeling anxious about losing my job to him to feeling more secure than ever. Yeah. Oh my goodness. That's kind of crazy. That's crazy. Okay, let's do one more. And okay. Yeah. So this one is from 9 months ago, and it is titled Coworker Told a Customer No in My Favorite Way. Hee hee. In the early 2000s, I worked in a call center doing tech support. Our jobs ended up getting outsourced, and I got laid off. A few weeks later, the company called and asked if I wanted to work on a new contract at the call center. I was desperate for a job, so I went back. Okay, you'll go back to X's or jobs. The contract was doing warranty customer service for a major car manufacturer. Mention. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Once training started, I realized quickly how much it would suck. Yep. My previous job was to fix the caller's problem, something I enjoyed. With that warranty stuff, the caller was the problem, and my job was to find any way to tell them no. Hee hee. I was paired up with a battle hardened older woman for a few hours to listen and learn. She was an old hat at it, and I got to witness her power. Some of them, oh, they're just so good. They just don't let anybody get to them. Yeah, yeah. A guy called in, and she had a look at his call history. She muted him and showed how this man had called in for stuff many times over the years, despite his truck being long out of warranty. He had somehow begged, whined, complained, and screamed his way into free repairs multiple times. None of it should have been covered, but people just did it to get him off the phone. See, and that's why they keep doing it. That's why they keep doing it. Anyway. She unmuted him and let him go on his spiel. She told him 3 times that she could not help him, and he started getting wound up. Finally, she gave a big sigh and said words I'll never forget. Sir, there comes a time in every man's life when he must stand on his own 2 feet, to take full responsibility for himself. Today, sir, is your day, she said, as if she were giving a pep talk to a team before the big game. After some silence, he simply said, okay, and hung up. She made some notes and told me he'll probably call back and get some softy, and went on a smoke break. I didn't last a month at it. It was all too soul crushing for me. I often wished I could channel that woman's energy and tell someone to F off in such a well worded way. Yeah. Somebody says, oh, dang, I felt the weight of that. There comes a time. Yeah. This has to be the most respectful get your crap together I've ever heard. She basically told him to grow up, but made it sound like a motivational TED talk instead of a straight up no. Oh, that's great. Traveling Beard says, I wish to channel older woman power one day. I'm a middle aged man now who gives too many F's. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Oh, okay. Somebody said, I am this older woman now and gives 0 F's. I'm still professional at my work. When I've been blamed for something someone else did or didn't do and get called out, I said, if you want to find out who's at fault, look in the mirror. If I screwed up, I owned it and learned from it. That's what part of adulting is. Yeah. Oh, somebody says, I had a boss once who said, I can't give you the level of service that you seem to so desperately need. It was glorious. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry that you need more than I can provide. Yeah. I don't know. That's great. Hold on. Hold on. The comment says, I used a version of that phrase many years ago. Sorry, just skimming. I want to read this. I worked for local law enforcement, arresting parents on child support warrants. Most warrants were for failure to pay child support, sometimes in the tens of thousands of dollars. If you, okay, this might be different, but if you reach $10,000 in the state that I live in, it's a felony. So if you owe child support, pay your child support. Because there's guys like this out there. So let's keep reading history. It doesn't need to be said, but I'll say it. Most people don't want to get arrested and go to jail, even if it's only for a short time. Anyhow, most of the parents were men, to wit, fathers. Most of the fathers did not live with the mother of their child upon which the warrant was drawn. Many of the fathers went to live with their mothers, no matter the age of them or their mothers. An arrest warrant could be construed as a search warrant for the person named on the warrant at the address listed on the warrant. Okay. I could search for Johnny Jones at 1234 Main Street if the address on the warrant was 1234 Main Street, given certain circumstances. So, many times I would go looking for Johnny Jones and I would encounter his mother. Mrs. Jones, is Johnny here? We have a warrant for him for failure to pay child support. My Johnny's a good boy. He can't get a job because of the warrant. Ma'am, he owes $50,000 in child support. He can't get a job. He's a good boy. He loves his kids. Ma'am, how old is Johnny? Even though I have his date of birth on the warrant. 48. Ma'am, there comes a time in a man's life when he needs to step up to the plate and take responsibility for his actions. That age is way before age 48. The kids need the money. He needs to call us and be a responsible parent. Yada, yada. Anyhow, there are times in almost everyone's life when they must do certain things. If not, we may knock on your door at 0 dark 30 looking for you. Peace out. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I love it when people are, I don't know if it's clever enough or thoughtful enough um, to have one in the chain for, yeah, caught that phrase myself. Um, who can just so confidently and calmly have a comeback, because I do not. I struggle. I'm one of those 11 PMers laying in my bed going, well, and you know what you can do. So, yeah, I hope you guys have good coworkers. I hope at the very least you have one coworker that you can just kind of look at across a room and be like, can you believe this? And they're like, no, I cannot. Or, yes, I absolutely can. Look at where we work. So, on that note, I'm going to leave you guys for tonight. Thank you so much for being here. As always, I love our Thursdays where we get to just find silly little things and read them together. But again, please like, share, subscribe, all of the YouTube things. Check out all of the other stuff that we've got going on. We've got the Wednesday evening readings on the Katie Lynn Wolf channel. We've got this every Thursday at 7:30. We've got the Hallowed Hearth podcast. We've been shooting some movies, trying to hopefully get a series off the ground that, fingers crossed, would start shooting in February. So less than a year away. So just lots of stuff coming up. If you guys Again, if you've got subs that you want me to read out of, post it here. I think maybe next week we're going to do a no sleep week. And we'll get a little spooky for a week and maybe scare ourselves. But anyways, guys, thank you so, so much for hanging out with me again. I will see you next week right here at 7:30. Yeah, be nice to each other. We love it. Be kind. It's cheap. It's free. It's free. See you guys later. Bye.